Steelers Nation, how's everyone feeling today? Before we dive into the breaking story shaking up the NFL, let's take a moment to appreciate what this football team has been building. Week after week, you can see the progress: sharper game plans, better execution, and stronger chemistry on both sides of the ball. Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan have assembled a roster that's hungry, disciplined, and determined to keep improving. This group isn't just playing hard, it's learning, adapting, and fighting to reach the next level. So before we get into the latest headline, take a second to hit that like button and show some love for a squad that's pushing itself toward perfection every single week. Now let's talk about what's making waves around the league right now. Just when it seemed like Omar Khan had wrapped up his big moves for the season, a new name has suddenly entered the Steelers' radar, and it's one that could shock everyone. According to The Athletic's Diana Rossini, the Jacksonville Jaguars are taking calls on wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Yes, you heard that right. One of the most promising young receivers in the NFL might be available, and the Steelers are reportedly among the teams showing serious interest. Rossini wrote that while a trade feels unlikely, Jacksonville is listening. That alone is surprising, considering Thomas is only in his second NFL season and already proving to be a dynamic deep threat coming off an excellent rookie year. Still, with new general manager James Gladstone and head coach Liam Cohen steering the Jaguars in a new direction, no one on their roster is completely untouchable. The part that should make Steelers fans sit up is this: Pittsburgh has been actively exploring receiver options as the trade deadline approaches. The offense has exceeded expectations so far in 2025, but Khan knows that to go from good to championship caliber, you can never have too many playmakers. Right now, DK Metcalf is the clear WR1, while Calvin Austin III has returned from injury to reclaim the WR2 role. Behind them, however, the depth starts to thin out. Roman Wilson, Ben Skowronek, and Scotty Miller have each shown flashes, but none have fully seized that third spot. That's where Brian Thomas Jr. could be a game changer. Just imagine Metcalf and Thomas lining up together, two big explosive targets for Aaron Rodgers to work with. That kind of duo would create matchup nightmares for defenses across the league. Of course, pulling off a deal like this wouldn't be simple. Thomas is young, talented, and still on his rookie contract, which means Jacksonville would want a strong return. Khan has already traded a second-round pick for Metcalf earlier this year, so giving up another high draft pick might not align with Pittsburgh's long-term plan. However, the Steelers do still hold a valuable third-round pick from Dallas, part of the George Pickens trade this offseason. If Khan could package that with another mid-round selection, it might be enough to get Jacksonville to the table. And if there's one thing Khan has proven, it's that he knows how to structure a creative deal. From acquiring Metcalf to surprising the league with trades for Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, and Juan Thornhill, Khan has earned a reputation for making bold, unexpected moves that keep the Steelers competitive. While trade talk heats up, the Steelers' immediate focus is on a primetime showdown with the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. This matchup is huge. Two storied franchises, two passionate fan bases, and plenty of star power under the lights. The Steelers enter at 4-2, while the Packers sit near the top of the NFC. And there's an interesting storyline to watch. Aaron Rodgers could become one of the few quarterbacks in NFL history to defeat all 32 teams. You know he's eyeing that milestone. For Pittsburgh, the key will be discipline and execution. The Steelers have been one of the least penalized teams in football, averaging just 6 penalties per game, a testament to Mike Tomlin's leadership and the staff's attention to detail. Green Bay, on the other hand, ranks near the bottom of the league with more than 8 penalties per game. That discrepancy could be crucial in a tight matchup. However, one factor to keep in mind is the officiating crew. Shan H. Hochel's unit will be handling the game, and they've called more defensive offsides penalties than almost anyone else in the league. Through 7 weeks, they've flagged it 7 times, the third most in the NFL. That's something TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith need to be careful about. Watt has already been flagged 3 times this season for jumping early, tied for the most in the league. Highsmith has avoided that so far, but both edge rushers will need to find the right balance between aggression and discipline. With how explosive they are off the snap, they'll have to stay sharp, especially against tackles like Zach Tom and Rashid Walker, who are known for trying to anticipate the rush. If the Steelers can stay composed, avoid costly mistakes, and win the turnover battle, they'll have a great chance to walk away with a statement victory. But all of this ties into the bigger picture. The Steelers are sitting at 4-2, with an offense that's exceeding expectations and a defense that's as hungry as ever. That puts Omar Khan in a position of strength. He doesn't need to make a move, but he might make one anyway to push this team over the top. Adding a young star like Brian Thomas Jr. wouldn't just boost the offense, it would send a clear message to the rest of the league that the Steelers are going all in. Meanwhile, Roman Wilson's journey continues to develop quietly but meaningfully. Drafted in the third round of 2024, Wilson entered the league as one of the most technically sound route runners in his class. But between early injuries and limited reps, his rookie season didn't unfold as smoothly as hoped. That said, his performance against the Bengals in Week 7, just 2 catches for 17 yards, felt like a turning point. It wasn't about the numbers, it was about confidence. You could see him playing freer, sharper, more in rhythm. When asked about the ongoing trade rumors and how they might affect him, Wilson stayed calm and mature. "Since I got here, there's always been speculation," he said. "It doesn't really affect me, and I don't think it affects any of the other receivers either." That's exactly the mindset you want from a young player fighting for his role. With Scotty Miller ruled out for the upcoming game against Green Bay, Wilson might have a real opportunity to shine. The Packers' secondary has been giving up big plays all season, and Wilson's quick separation and precise routes could make him a key target for Rodgers on crucial downs. He doesn't need a huge stat line. Just a few timely catches could make a huge difference. A third down conversion, a red zone grab, or one deep shot could change the game and mark the start of Wilson's breakout stretch. Rodgers has already spoken highly of him, praising his intelligence and discipline, traits Rodgers values deeply in his receivers. If Wilson continues to prove reliable, he could earn more playing time alongside Metcalf and Austin as the season progresses. The Steelers' upcoming schedule is tough, with games against the Ravens, Bills, and Browns all on the horizon. Rodgers will need every weapon at his disposal, and Wilson's growth could be crucial in those matchups. So here's the question for you, Steelers Nation. Should Omar Khan go all in and make another big trade before the deadline, or should he hold firm, keep the draft picks, and trust the chemistry that's building right now? Either way, one thing is clear: this team is ascending. With Rodgers leading the offense, Tomlin's defense locking in, and Khan always ready to pull the trigger on a big move, the Steelers are positioning themselves as one of the most dangerous teams in football.